death is feared by people like us, and we do not commit murder. But death is not people who commit crimes, gang crimes, are not scared by death. They live by death. If we have one person, one Japanese person out of 1 million on death row, about 125 people are now on death row. And it is about 120 million, the population of Japan. So if we have 1 out of 1 million on death row, do we seriously think that Japan would be safer if they are killed, executed? In my opinion, nothing would change for Japanese people and safety. I'm going to the last part of my introduction. Sorry if it is long, but I wanted to offer some arguments. Many say, normally governments say in the world, the people demand it. Even in Japan, every 5 years, your survey says that the majority of people is in favor of the death penalty. But polls are not democracy. Democracy is not about surveys. In my opinion, but also the United Nations, the Secretary General said that, this is a caricatural democracy, a travesty democracy, moody, instinctive, childish. It can become a democracy of the social media. If there was a survey in Italy or in Europe that says, would you agree about not paying taxes at all? And in Italy, taxes are very heavy. I think that 70% or 80% of Italian population would say, yes, I agree. We want to abolish taxes, but our society would die next year because there was no money to pay for salaries for the state. We could not survive. So the polls can say, do you like not to pay taxes? Yes. And then the country dies. So the polls are not democracy. Sometimes they can be interesting, but not democracy. Actually, capital punishment is fake news, and it is as old as the world. It is dressed up as justice, but always causes new victims, such as the families of those who were killed. Capital punishment always adds another death to the death already inflicted. And who is the cause of this? The state. And in this way, the state brings down the whole of society, all citizens, to the level of those who kill. The death penalty contains false promises. It is a lie told to the families of the victims. It promises justice, promises healing from pain. Instead, the death penalty freezes resentment and leaves people spending years waiting for revenge. So, I think that the best answer to interrupt the cycle of violence is this: no to the death penalty. It weakens a culture of death. It may have a positive effect also on the too high rate of suicides in Japan. That is still more than 20,000 suicides in Japan every year. A culture of life. Why is a world without the death penalty safer? Because the death penalty legitimates at a higher level the state, a culture of death, while it says that it was to defend life. It strikes the socially weaker in the world, religious minorities in the world, ethnic minorities in the world in a disproportionate way. In some countries it is a totalitarian weapon against political oppositions. In others, a way to cover the corruption of entire political classes. the most technological country in the world, Japan, and going to conclude, risks to be seen by its friends as an anachronistic old one who writes on a stone board at the time of 5G. The entire issue is in one question, the question of a 10-year-old boy. They will kill him because he killed a man. Then, after they killed him, who shall we have to kill? So I'm here to give you good news. Actually, to make you an offer. I want to offer Japan a new microchip that starts with a moratorium on executions, a 2020 moratorium. It is important telling you this, to remember here in Tokyo, that the death penalty is not an identity feature of Japan. It is not deeply part of Japanese culture. It is not even part of Asian culture. When in Europe, the death penalty was normal, during the European Middle Ages, Emperor Shomu in Japan abolished the death penalty in the year 724. Then, in 1810, a second abolitionist era occurred for 3 centuries in the Heian period until 1156. 3 centuries without the death penalty in Japan. And Japan was, so, in the world at that time, probably with Africa, the only land without the death penalty. I want to thank all the co-promoters of this meeting. On behalf of the community of Sant'Egidio, I want to ask you to support this moratorium, to think about abolition, and to keep working together as friends, brothers and sisters for a world without the death penalty. Thank you.
ただいまはセントエジオ共同体マナツィティさんのお話でございました。続きまして今回のシンポジウムの講演をいただいております日本の死刑制度の今後を考える議員の会会長川村武雄衆議院議員よりご挨拶をいただきたいと思います。先生よろしく。
皆さんおはようございます。ただいまご紹介をいただきました日本の死刑制度の今後を考える議員の会の会長